All right, get ready to swap out those winter coats for some swim trunks, because today we're diving headfirst into the Phuket real estate market. And let me tell you, it is hot, hot, hot right now.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely booming.
Way hotter than even before COVID hit. Tons of investors worldwide are scrambling to get their own little slice of paradise.
You're not wrong about that. And the source for today's deep dive is a blog post.
Okay, tell us more.
It's from OceanWwP Phuket Real Estate.
Catchy name.
Yeah, and the title's pretty spot on, too. It's called Phuket Real Estate Market Booms Amid Foreign Demand.
Straight to the point.
Published on November 5th, 2024.
Nice, so fresh off the press. So by the end of this deep dive, you'll be totally in the know about why Phuket is turning so many heads, what kinds of places are selling like crazy, and what's fueling this insane growth.
You'll be an expert by the end of this.
Let's get into it. First up, let's talk numbers, because, numbers don't lie.
Right, and this blog post throws out a pretty staggering number. 470 billion baht.
Whoa, hold on. Break that down for us.
That's over 12 billion US dollars.
12 billion.
Yeah, and that was just invested in Phuket real estate during the first quarter of 2024.
So in just 3 months, wow. That's like, what, enough to build a whole city of luxury villas?
Pretty much. It really shows just how intense this boom is.
Yeah, no kidding. But here's what I find really interesting. This whole surge isn't coming from Thai people. It's buyers from all over the globe. And there's a particularly big wave coming in from Russia.
Exactly. And, I think that makes a lot of sense when you think about what Phuket has to offer. Beautiful beaches, those amazing lush rainforests, a vibrant culture.
Yeah, you're making me want to book a flight right now.
Plus, the cost of living is way lower than in many other tropical destinations.
So it's like the perfect combo. It's all coming together. Okay, let's dig a little deeper into who these buyers are and what they're after. The blog post points to the Line District as a major hotspot. Something like 50% of all residential projects are happening there. What's so special about Thalang?
Well, if you're all about peace and quiet and that luxurious lifestyle, Thalang's the place to be. Think pristine beaches, high-end resorts, those championship golf courses, and tons of privacy.
Okay, so this is where you go to escape it all, huh?
Exactly.
And the blog post also mentioned Mueang and Kathu districts as being attractive for buyers too. What's different about those areas?
So Mueang, that's the heart of Phuket. It's all about that bustling city life, modern conveniences, but also a ton of history and culture.
So you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, whereas Kathu is more about that serene, nature-focused vibe. So whether you want that exciting city experience or a peaceful retreat, Phuket's got you covered.
It really does seem like a super diverse market. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty, what's actually for sale. The post mentions a bunch of different properties. Condos, vacation homes, even single detached houses. What's the price range looking like?
All right, so for a vacation condo, you're looking at about 7.7 million baht on average. But if you're after a vacation home, be ready to shell out around 36 million baht.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's a pretty big jump.
Yeah, and single detached houses, if you want a bit more independence, those average around 5.7 million baht.
Got it.
And then you have your more typical condo closer to 2.4 million baht.
So yeah, 36 million for a vacation home? That's a serious chunk of change. I guess that really confirms that this boom is catering to the luxury crowd.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's one phrase in the blog post that I can't stop thinking about. You ready for this? Liquid gold beachfront. What's the deal with that?
Ah, yeah. That's about the crazy high value of beachfront land, especially in spots like Patong and Bang Tao.
Okay, like how high are we talking?
Well, in Patong, a ray of land will set you back a mind-blowing 350 million baht.
Wait, back up. What's a ray?
Oh, right. It's a Thai unit for measuring land. It's about 0.4 acres.
So basically 350 million baht for less than half an acre on the beach.
Yeah.
That's a lot of zeros.
It is. And Bang Tao's seeing a similar thing.
So why these places specifically?
Well, the combination of incredible beaches and all those luxury developments going up has investors fighting over a piece of the action, and that's pushing prices sky high.
So it's not even just about having your own piece of paradise. It's about owning a piece of the high life, right?
Totally.
The exclusivity, all the fancy amenities, the whole lifestyle. It adds up.
Exactly, and that's what's driving this liquid gold thing. Investors see Bang Tao as a guaranteed win, a place where their money is pretty much guaranteed to grow big time.
Okay, so we've got buyers from all over, different properties to fit different budgets, and beachfront land that's basically worth its weight in gold. So what's making this whole thing explode like this?
It's a bunch of factors, really. I mean, travel's back in a big way after the pandemic. More and more people are working remotely.
Right, so they can work from anywhere.
Exactly. And everyone's looking for a beautiful and affordable place to live. Phuket ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, makes sense.
But there's another piece to this puzzle, the big developers. The Post mentions companies like Sansiri and Origin Property, and they're pouring billions into new projects.
So what does that tell us? What does it mean for Phuket's real estate future?
Well, these huge investments are a clear sign that they believe in Phuket's future. They're betting that this boom is here to stay. Sansiri alone is planning 16 new projects worth 15 billion baht over the next 5 years.
Wow.
And Origin Properties putting in 13.75 billion, a mix of homes and hotels.
That's a lot of construction going on.
It is.
But before we get too carried away with all this excitement, we got to talk about the legal stuff. What are the rules about foreigners owning property in Thailand, especially in Phuket?
Oh, that's a super important point. Thailand's actually pretty open to foreign buyers, but there are some specific things to keep in mind.
All right, so let's break it down. What are the essential legal things someone needs to know before jumping into this market?
Well, first off, you got to understand the difference between freehold and leasehold ownership.
Okay, so freehold is like owning the land outright.
Exactly. And foreigners, they can't typically do that in Thailand. But they can own the building on that land.
So that's leasehold.
Yep. You own the building, but not the actual ground it sits on.
So how does that actually work?
Basically, you have the right to use and enjoy the property for a specific amount of time. Usually, it's around 30 years.
30 years, okay.
You can renew the lease, and you can even sell or transfer your leasehold to someone else.
So I don't actually own the land, but I've got solid long-term rights to the property.
Right. And there are a few different types of leasehold structures, each with its own little details.
Oh, I bet.
That's why it's really important to talk to a lawyer who specializes in Thai property law.
So they can help navigate all that.
Exactly. They can help you figure out all the intricacies and make sure your investment is protected.
Okay, solid advice. Now, besides the legal stuff, what other risks or challenges should buyers be aware of?
Well, like any real estate market, things can change.
Right, it's never a sure thing.
Exactly. Phuket is not immune to fluctuations. Things are booming right now, but the economy could shift. Global events, government policy changes.
Yeah, those could all affect property values down the road.
For sure.
Hmm.
What about construction quality? Is that something you'd worry about?
Definitely, it's a big investment. Is that a concern in Phuket?
It's a valid concern. The quality can really vary between different developers.
Oh, I can imagine.
Research is key here. Look into a developer's past projects, check out the places they've already built, and think about getting an independent inspector.
To assess the property before committing.
Exactly.
Okay, so due diligence is essential. Are there any red flags people should watch out for, like specifically?
Definitely. Be wary of those really pushy sales tactics, promises of guaranteed returns that sound too good to be true.
Right, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
And be careful of developers that don't have a good reputation. Transparency is key.
So ask questions, get everything in writing.
Exactly. And if something feels off, don't be afraid to walk away.
It sounds like having a trustworthy local agent on your side would be a huge help.
Oh, absolutely. A good agent can be like your guide through the whole process. They can help you find the right property, negotiate a good price, and handle all the paperwork. Plus, they'll know all about the local market, which can help you avoid any nasty surprises.
Yeah, that local knowledge is invaluable. Okay, so now that we've covered all the legal stuff and potential risks, let's paint a picture of life in Phuket. What's the culture like? What kind of amenities are there? Give us the overall vibe.
Okay, picture this. You've got these ancient Buddhist temples right alongside bustling night markets and world-class restaurants. That's Phuket. It's this vibrant mix of Thai traditions and global influences.
So something for everyone.
Totally. It creates a truly unique and exciting atmosphere.
That sounds amazing. But what about practical stuff like healthcare and education? How are those in Phuket?
They're actually really good. Phuket has several international standard hospitals and clinics, so the healthcare is excellent.
Good to know.
And for families, there are some great international schools catering to the expat community.
Okay, so that's reassuring for anyone thinking about making a permanent move. Speaking of getting around, what's transportation like in Phuket, both on and off the island?
Phuket has a pretty good transportation system. You've got taxis, those songthas, which are like shared taxis, and of course the tuk-tuk.
A classic tuk-tuk.
You can also rent cars or motorbikes if you prefer. But just a heads up, traffic can be a bit crazy, especially when it's busy with tourists.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And if you're heading off the island, Phuket International Airport has tons of flights, both domestic and international.
So getting around shouldn't be a problem. What about the cost of living? How does Phuket stack up against other popular destinations?
Overall, it's more affordable than a lot of Western countries, but of course, it depends on how you like to live.
Right, makes sense.
Accommodation, food, transportation, those are all relatively cheap. But imported stuff and luxury goods, those can be a bit pricier.
Good to know. So if you're looking for that luxury lifestyle without spending a fortune, Phuket seems like a pretty good option.
Absolutely. Plus, you've got that tropical climate, the stunning natural beauty, and the warm, welcoming culture.
It's starting to sound like the perfect place to be. But with all this talk about luxury and investment, it's easy to forget about the people who actually live there.
That's a really good point. It's important to remember that all this foreign investment and tourism has had an effect on the locals, both positive and negative.
Yeah, for sure. It's important to be mindful of that impact
Yeah.
and, engage with the community respectfully and responsibly.
Exactly. Supporting local businesses, respecting local customs, just being aware of cultural sensitivities, those things can make a big difference.
Couldn't agree more. It's all about finding that balance, enjoying all the beauty and excitement of Phuket while being a responsible visitor or resident.
Now, let's switch gears a bit and talk about who's actually coming to Phuket. Who are these buyers and what are they looking for?
Yeah, that's a great question. Are we talking young adventurers, families wanting a new life, retirees searching for paradise, or a mix of everyone?
It really is a mix. You've got young professionals drawn to the remote work lifestyle, families seeking a more affordable and laid-back place to raise their kids.
Yeah, I could see that.
And of course, retirees looking to enjoy their golden years in paradise. But one thing they all seem to have in common is a desire for a high quality of life.
Makes sense. Phuket's got a lot to offer.
Ugh.
Okay, let's get back to the actual properties for a sec. Earlier, we talked about the Lang District being super popular, remember?
Oh yeah, that 50% of residential projects stat.
Exactly. So what kind of places are we talking about specifically in Talang?
Well, imagine this. Big, beautiful villas overlooking the ocean. Those are super popular in Talang. We're talking amazing views of that turquoise Andaman Sea.
Sounds dreamy.
It does, doesn't it? And the average price for one of those vacation homes is about 36 million baht.
So definitely on the luxury end of things.
For sure.
But are there options in Ceylon for those of us who don't have, millions to drop on a vacation home?
Absolutely. Condos are also really hot in Palang, especially ones that could be rented out. They're a bit more affordable, averaging around 7.7 million baht.
Oh, okay, so that's a little easier on the wallet.
Yeah, definitely a more accessible way to get into the market.
So whether you want that lavish escape or a smart investment, Thalong seems like it has it all. Now, what about Mueang and Kathu districts? What are the property trends like over there?
So Mueang being the heart of Phuket, it's got a totally different feel. It's more of a mix of modern condos, townhouses, and you can even find some of those charming heritage properties in the old town.
So a bit more of a city vibe.
Exactly. If you want to be close to all the action shops, restaurants, nightlife, Mueang's the place to be.
And Kathu.
Kathu's all about nature. Think rolling hills, lush greenery, a focus on wellness, and living a more peaceful life. You'll find a mix of villas, detached houses, and some smaller condo developments, often with amazing views.
It's amazing how much variety there is in Phuket. There's something for everyone. Now, I got to bring up that liquid gold beachfront phrase again from the blog post. What is it about Bang Tao that makes it so special?
Well, Bang Tao is like the poster child for Phuket's luxury real estate boom. It's got this incredible stretch of beach, and it's lined with high-end resorts, amazing restaurants, and more exclusive residential developments are popping up all the time. Demand is so high that it's pushing prices to record levels.
So it's not just about owning a piece of paradise. It's about owning a piece of a high life.
Exactly. The exclusivity, the amenities, the whole lifestyle. It's a big draw.
It all makes sense now. So investors are seeing Bang Tao as a pretty safe bet, a place where their money is likely to grow a lot.
Yeah, they're banking on it.
Okay, so zooming out a bit, what does all this mean for Phuket's future? It's obviously bringing in a ton of money and development.
Right. That influx of investment and development is definitely changing Phuket. It's good for the economy, it's creating jobs, and it's leading to better infrastructure. But it also makes you think about sustainability. Can Phuket handle all this growth without losing its unique character and natural beauty?
That's a really important question. Development has to be done in a way that protects the environment and benefits the local community.
I totally agree. It's about finding a path that works for everyone involved. That means careful planning, responsible development practices, and a commitment to preserving what makes Phuket so special.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We've looked at all those crazy stats, the legal stuff, what it's actually like to live in Phuket, and the specific properties that are driving this boom. So, any final words of wisdom for our listeners who might be thinking about taking the plunge into the Phuket real estate market?
I'd say do your research, talk to people you trust, and really understand both the good and the bad before you jump in. But more than anything, go experience Phuket for yourself. See if it feels right to you.
Great advice. Phuket is an incredible place, and this real estate boom definitely has a lot of potential. But as with any investment, it's important to go in with your eyes wide open. So listener, what about you? If you were to invest in Phuket, what kind of property would you go for and where? Let us know in the comments. Who knows, maybe you'll be sipping on a Mai Tai on your own Phuket balcony sooner than you think. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.